Hello everyone, and welcome to the Tomb of Sargeras. Now the first boss we have here is named Goroth, and what you want to do is tank Goroth on the edge of this circle, somewhere around here. Melee will be in between both of these markers, and the blue marker is for range, like you see here. Now this boss has a few simple mechanics, and let's break it down by role. So here the first thing you'll see is what tanks need to do. So tanks just need to taunt off whenever they get melted armor. This is going to increase the amount of damage they do and do a small AoE around them. This AoE is going to deal damage and destroy any pillars. So the tanks need to run to a corner of the room, drop their debuff there, make sure they don't hit any pillars or anyone else. Now for the rest of the group, DPSers and healers. Whenever you see this mark here on the ground, that means that a spike is about to come up, so you need to move away from that mark to not take damage from the spike coming up. It is a very fast cast. As soon as you see the mark on the ground, you have about 2 to 3 seconds to move away. The other thing that you'll be getting is Crashing Comet, which is a small AoE underneath you. This does damage and destroys any pillars. So if you get this small AoE underneath you, don't be near any pillars or any other people inside that small AoE, so just spread out. And the other mechanic that you have here on Goroth is Shattering Star. Now what Shattering Star does is it targets one person, normally a ranged or a healer, and it creates an arrow on the ground from the boss to that person, and it's going to shoot a meteor in the direction of that arrow. Now if you take that meteor just how it is without mitigating any of the damage, it's going to do huge splash damage to the whole raid. So the way to minimize the amount of damage you're taking from that star is to make it go through pillars. Now in normal mode, what I found is that making the star go through 1 to 2 pillars is perfect. That mitigates a very good amount of the damage, and making it go through 3 is a little unnecessary and doesn't mitigate that much more damage. So I would always aim for mitigating through 2 pillars, and the way to do that is to just hide behind 2 pillars so that the star actually rolls through them, knocking them down and mitigating all that damage. Now one other thing to note about these pillars is that they do not cause line of sight issues, so you can actually safely DPS behind these pillars if you just want to stay back there. The very last mechanic that Goroth has that everybody needs to look out for is when he starts casting Infernal Burning, what you need to do is go hide behind any of the pillars. Hiding behind any of these pillars makes it so that you don't take any damage from Infernal Burning, which is a move that actually deals a ton of damage and can one-shot you if you stay outside. So remember, move out of the spikes, don't break the spikes by dropping comets on them. If you get targeted by Shattering Star, hide behind some of these pillars to mitigate that damage, and everybody has to hide behind the pillars for Infernal Burning so that you don't get one shot. One final thing to note is that if you run the boss close to any of the pillars, the boss will also destroy them, and since those pillars are your lifeblood for when Infernal Burning is cast, try to keep at least 2 or 3 up by the time Infernal Burning is being cast. So just like with Nighthold, I will be releasing all of these guides by next Tuesday. Next reset, you will have all of the normal mode guides. After that, I'm going to start working on the heroic mode guides, so keep an eye out for that. Go ahead and visit my channel down below. There's also a playlist linked down below and here at the end of the video. That's going to include the playlist for every single boss guide. And if you like what I do and want to help support me and also want to get these boss guides a little bit earlier, go ahead and visit my Patreon down below and also give me a follow on Twitch. Streaming will resume next week. This week I'm focusing entirely on Tomb of Sargeras, so next week we will be back to our regular streaming schedule. And as always, good luck out there.